Bullying is when a bully repeatedly harasses or physically harms another person who cannot easily defend him or herself. It involves a power imbalance between the bully and victim or target, because sometimes a bully can be physically stronger or intimidating in some way. Bullying can be physical, such as hitting, or it can be verbal, such as name-calling, or relational, such as destroying a relationship between friends. Today, I'm going to be talking to Holocaust survivors about bullying that they've experienced. So I'm going to talk first about the pyramid of hate so you can see the connection between bullying and genocide. So with the pyramid of hate, you can see that on the bottom it starts with bias, and then it goes the whole way up to the top with genocide. So let's talk a little bit about each level, starting at the bottom with bias. This includes things such as stereotyping, making insensitive remarks, and seeking out like-minded people. So when you do this, then it becomes the norm because the like-minded people are agreeing with you. Individual acts of prejudice is the next level, and this is bullying, name-calling, and dehumanization. And with dehumanization, this is when you think of the other person as being less than you. So then it makes it easier to treat them not as well because you don't even think of them as being the same as you. And the next level is discrimination. And this involves segregation. With segregation, you're actually not even being around certain people. And this can involve segregation where you work, go to school, and where you live. And the next level is bias-motivated violence. And this involves threats or terrorism. And in this level, someone actually can hurt someone else. And then the very top and final level is genocide. And this is the act or intent to deliberately and systematically annihilate an entire people. So you can see how in some cases bullying can lead to violence. So think of school shootings because of bullying, and maybe even fights at school that you've witnessed because of bullying. Not only does bullying have the potential to lead to violence, but it also can cause the victim or target, the bystanders, and even in some cases a bully to feel angry, depressed, or suicidal. So it's important that we all work together to try to stop bullying. Bullies need to be corrected and taught how to be kind and empathetic. Victims or targets need to learn what to do if they are bullied. And bystanders need to understand that they have an important role in sticking up for the victim or target, getting help from adults, and not supporting the bully.
Well, my name is Sam or Samuel Gottesman, and I come from Czechoslovakia, Hungary, Russia. It all depends on your situation, what was like in Europe at that time in 1944-45, because we were changing nationalities like underwear at that time. Well, the camp was a camp, Wolfsburg was the name of it. This is where we first from Auschwitz, when they put us on the train to go to the labor camps. This is where we wound up. It's located in Schlesien near Breslau, if you know the big city. When I was reading about the history of the Holocaust, because we were totally ignorant just what happened to us. Mm-hmm. It just came all of a sudden. We had no idea of its existence. We never heard of Auschwitz. We never heard of the SS and the Sonderkommando and all that. We had no idea whatsoever that such a thing exists. So when we arrived in that camp, this is our first labor camp that we came across. I can see it, it's in front of my eyes. I can see it, how it's slowly crawling back up there again with the hatred, with the propaganda, with the lies. The only thing I remember when I was first actually bullying, was when I was about 14 or 15 years old. And when I went to school in Ungvar, that's the capital of Carpathian, and the school was a yeshiva, if you know what it is exactly. And Of course, we were dressed like a yeshiva student with the black hats, black suits, and we were living on our own in a different area of the city, while what is it called, campus was in a different area. So we had to walk about, I'd say about a mile or so to get to the campus every day, every morning, and then back for breakfast, and then back again, because our study was a whole day long actually, except for the luncheons, breakfast, and dinners where we had to go. But most of the time we were on the campus and to do the studying. But I remember there was an airport or an Air Force, a Hungarian Air Force in Ungvar, and I remember Saturdays they had probably their days off, the flyers and the helpers who were the working. It was a part of the Hungarian army, and if we happened to be outside at the same time, and I remember the river Ung and a big bridge that we had to cross twice, 3 times a day. And Saturday night you can see the young soldiers with the girls walking, and the minute they saw us, they especially walked over on the other side just to harass us. You know, we had this, what do you call it?
Sidewalks.
Sidewalks, yeah. Sidewalks, yeah. And they were trying to show off to the girls how brave they are and picking on us. So we usually try to avoid them altogether. The minute we saw them coming across the bridge, we either shot to the other side or returned back so they won't have any doing with us. But this is the first time we were what you call actually bullying and bothering us because the way we looked, and they wanted to show off to their girlfriends how brave they were. The other one was a little more serious already. That was right in the camps already. We were having lunchtime, about a half hour, and the lunch consisted of dishwater actually, that's all it was. But we had at least a half hour of rest that we could sit down wherever we find a space on trees, and of course we were working outside in the woods. And the one guy who was supposed to be our couple, he was a member from Slovakia, from Kosha. He was a husky fella, red-headed, and he was supposed to be our couple, looking out for us or watching us and that. But I was working there with 2 German masters, and they were beautiful people. And they too took the break at that time, because we would usually what we did is help the masters. They were the know it all. They know how to. What we were doing is actually building foundation for new apartment buildings, because the cities are being bombed out. People had to live somewhere, so they were building new housing in the woods. And so our job was to help the masters with the German masters, because they were the trained people, and we were just helping out. And when the lunch came, and we took our what you call hot water, and that was our lunch. And in the can, it was like milk cans that we see here. This is the kind of containers that they brought the luncheon for. That is only if you were close enough to the camp where the kitchen was located. If you were too far, you didn't get any lunches at all. So we were the lucky ones that got the dishwater. But whatever we got was valuable to us, because even just the liquid itself helped us out. and I saw the can was sitting in front of me about a yard or 2 yards away from him. And of course, I thought, or I was sure, that if I tilt that can, there will be a tablespoon of soup left, and I could reach it. It's exactly what I did. I tilted the can, walked out there to the can, tilted it, and I had a spoon in my hand, and I went down into the can to get that little soup out, and the couple saw it, and all of a sudden I had a what do you call it, a real shock on my face. He hit me real hard. My nose started bleeding and everything else because I did all these things, but he saw me doing it. And the German saw it, my master saw it, and he came rushing out and he said, "You dirty, I mean, he spoke in German, of course, to verfluchte Hunde, you what is it, cursed dog. If I see you once more touching our boys, you will run your tail home wherever you can, but you will not be able to get anywhere because I'll be after you. So no more. I don't want you to touch my boys." Can you imagine like that? But of course, I was still bleeding. I was all over the place, and he tried to help me out, wipe me off. So, and that is another bullying that I had. But that was a little more serious. Where
now, was the capo Jewish?
The capo was Jewish,
okay.
Yeah.
See, this is an interesting story because that goes to show you that it wasn't cut and dry that that some people would think.
That's
that
right.
there were good and bad people on all sides.
Well, most of the capos were, I would say, 50-50. Some of them were okay, were very humans, and they tried to talk to you rather than like this one, surprise you with a big hit in the face. The only thing is that it was with the capos, they tried to show off to the Germans, to the SS, how true they are to the German cause, that they are making sure that we are slaving there, we are working and not getting, protecting themselves on the skin of the other workers. Right. So this is another one of the bullying that I remembered quite well. It is a big order. And the problem is that our youngsters don't know any history. They can't see. I can see it. It's in front of my eyes. I can see it, how it's slowly crawling back up there again with the hatred, with the propaganda, with the lies. It starts out slowly, and the youngsters especially soak up that kind of thing for different reasons. Either they see they're right, they believe everything we tell. We have it right now, and go into Berkeley or on one of those other colleges, and you see those kids there have a totally different world, like they were not living here. So this is how slowly it starts out, the propaganda, that this and this people are just no good, they are troublemakers, they are the ones who have the power, and that's why you're poor, and that's why you're stupid, because they are taking charge of everything. And this is the way it starts. It's in Germany in 1933. And slowly, the Jews couldn't go in a regular school first, they couldn't go into parks, and they couldn't associate with the German people. And they separated the Jews from the others. And anyone who belonged to the party had a say-so of what his neighbor, the Jew, is going to be like, or do what he's going to do or not do. And this is until it came to the point where they decided to do away with the Jew altogether. And this is where the Holocaust started. We had no idea what is going on. They kept everything a secret, and they kept on the lies. The propaganda was there every day and all day long on the radios. And so natural, the youngsters picked it up. They had the Hitler Youth, and everybody had to join. If you didn't join, you were a traitor. So it became automatically, you have to hate a Jew. Of course, it wasn't just a Jew, it was a communist. They always find some reason why you have to hate the others.